powerful, physical running back who wore number 36 for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 90s and 2000s, became a fan favorite and was eventually immortalized in Canton. However, before his memorable 10 years with the Steelers, Jerome Bettis had a strange stint with the Rams. So to begin, for the 1993 NFL Draft with the 10th overall selection, the Los Angeles Rams, they selected Jerome Bettis, the hefty running back out of Notre Dame. And this seemed to be the perfect fit with Rams head coach Chuck Knox, who was known as Ground Chuck due to his physical brand of football that was run heavy. Chuck Knox had his battering ram to rely on, and for his rookie season, Bettis he gained 1,429 yards rushing, which is second in the NFL, only to Emmitt Smith. Smith won the rushing title in 1993 by gaining only 57 more yards on the ground than Bettis. Furthermore, what made Jerome Bettis' first NFL season even more impressive was that the bus averaged 4.9 yards per carry, which was tremendous considering the type of running back Bettis is known to be. So around this time, yes, there were a solid amount of 1,000-yard rushers, but there seemed to be somewhat a clear top tier of NFL running backs in Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Thurman Thomas. Then there's Jerome Bettis, who perhaps in just 1 year joined this elite group. However, for his second season, yes, Bettis he did make a Pro Bowl, but his production declined as a bus rushed for 1,025 yards in 1994, and his yards per carry dropped greatly from 4.9 during his rookie season to 3.2 for his second NFL season. Then once again, for Bettis' third NFL season, his production dropped greatly. So what happened? After the 94 season, which was Bettis' second year, the Rams fired head coach Chuck Knox, the coach who was going to rely on Bettis. Furthermore, the Rams, they moved then to St. Louis, and as for the coach to replace Ground Chuck, it'd be a very surprising hire. Rich Brooks would be the new head coach, and he was the head coach of the Oregon Ducks from 1977 to 1994, and he'd come in to be the first St. Louis Rams head coach. So Knox, he wanted to pound the ball, while Rich Brooks, he wanted to pass the ball more, open it up. And Bettis wasn't really his type of running back. Now, I understand that coaches, they want players to fit their system or vision. And to be fair, Brooks in 1995, a second-year wide receiver in Isaac Bruce, he exploded on the scene. And at that time in 1995, Bruce, he recorded the second highest receiving yardage total in a season. But as for Jerome Bettis in 1995, the bus, he had his touches decline, especially during the team's last 6 games. In 1995, Bettis he recorded 637 yards rushing with a 3.5 average. So with Bettis' decline, I thought he was just about done. However, one team didn't think so. So obviously, the Rams, they were going to go in another direction. On April 20, 1996, Jerome Bettis was traded from St. Louis to Pittsburgh. Many thought Pittsburgh gave up too much for Bettis, and the Rams thought Bettis was on the downside of his career. But not Steelers GM Tom Donahoe, who said, "We had good reports on him from college as a player and as a person. We tried to explore our options. The Rams had struggled that year, and Jerome did not have a very good year. But our guys felt, when we looked at the games, the tapes, it was more their offensive line than it was Jerome." Of course, this trade turned out to be great for the Steelers and Bettis, who became a Hall of Famer and a huge fan favorite in Pittsburgh. Now, I understand coaches wanting players that fit their system and vision. I understand Rich Brooks wanting a certain type of running back. However, for the 1996 NFL Draft, looking to fill their need at running back, the Rams selected troubled running back Lawrence Phillips, and this did not work out for the Rams. But then in 1999, a similar type of trade happened, as Marshall Faulk, he was traded from Indianapolis to the Rams. Thank you so much for your interest in this video. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you so much for all the support.